have one question to put everything behind us, then we'll talk baseball. The only thing I would say is, do you feel that there was any closure or anything that you feel like you got the support you needed, or you got what you needed out of those meetings, and now it's where your team feels good, you feel good, your staff feels good, everyone isn't looking over their shoulders? Did that, if that came from that, I think it was a productive meeting. Did, in your mind, that come from that meeting?
Well, in my mind it did. I mean, obviously, we have to continue to win ball games and go out and play well. Nothing etched in stone. I understand that. But, we talked. I think we had a chance to express ourselves, Fred, Jeff, and I, and put closure to it in our mind. And we talked a lot about the team, Mike. We talked a lot about how we can get better. I reached out to them on the road, but, they wanted to talk to me face-to-face, and they have that right. So after we, said we had to say to each other, we talked a lot about how we can get this team in the right direction.
Were you a little disappointed, Willie, that they didn't come out and say, Willie's our manager throughout the rest of the year, no matter what happens?
Well, listen, I felt all along that I'm the guy, and I didn't really need to hear that, because I know that I'm going to be here if we continue to play well, and if we don't, then they have the decision to make, obviously. But I didn't need to hear that, because my focus and my main concern is this team and getting them back in the right direction.
But I think the only important thing, Willie, out of that is not the fans, not even the media. I think it's important that your coaches and your players feel like this is still your team and you're not going anywhere. Do you think they feel that today?
Well, I think they do today. I mean, initially, I'm sure there was a little uncomfortableness, around the ballpark that particular day. My coaches obviously were concerned, and I could sense that the players were a little bit on their heels at the time. But, we had a nice little meeting. I spoke to the players, and I just told them to focus on playing baseball, that my situation shouldn't be their concern at all, and that we need to start playing where we're capable of playing. I mean, that's the bottom line. And we've underachieved so far, and I just challenge them all just to be accountable and just step up and get the job done, and all this stuff will go away.
All right, in that terrible week of last week, which one of those, the Santana, the Wagner, which one of those was the toughest losses to take, Willie? Did one stand out over the others?
Well, to me, the sweep in Atlanta, the whole thing bothered me, really. I mean, you can't go down there and get swept like that. I just felt like, we came off a great series against the Yankees, and, the guys were ready to go. We had an off day, which kind of, you never like when you're playing well, but I just felt like we should have gone in there and played a lot better baseball. Now, we hit some balls well and all that other kind of stuff, but you know what? You still can't let those guys sweep you 4 in a row, man. The 3-game sweep is bad enough, but, we had to play better than that. That would bother more than anything.
Let's do our obligatory question on Reyes. His defense, he's been a lot of errors lately, 3 in 3 days, and also his base running, which has been a disaster. Picked off second base in a game in Colorado there in the 10th inning on Friday night, Willie. What is it with Reyes? How can you untap this tremendous potential and get, I know it's a $64,000 question, and get him to be a little bit more consistent? We all know how good he is when his mind's into it and he's raring to go, but he's so erratic. It's hard sometimes to rely on him, and look what you're seeing. You can't believe it. What's your thoughts on Reyes right now?
Well, it's funny, Chris, but sometimes players, it's fun to not just at the bat. They're in the field. Sometimes it's focused because of lack of confidence. I think with Jose, sometimes he just gets into those situations where he tries so hard, tries to do so much, that it backfires on him. I mean, he got off the base on that one. We got the inside move. We picked him off. He was just trying to be aggressive there. Should have waited a little bit longer. But when you start to try to do too much, even in the field, you start to make mistakes. Now, last night, he was an easy ball in his glove that he took his eye off. There was a play on a road where, he was in between a backhand and a forehand.
Well, how about the double play Sunday with John Maine? That was a bad one, too, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. He gets into those situations sometimes where you try to be too quick, try to do too much. Jose's going to be fine. I know that right now, a lot of focus is on him, and he hasn't played, consistently all year like a lot of our guys haven't. But I think he's going to be fine, guys. I really do. It's just that things are a little bit magnified right now, and Jose needs just to kind of relax. I spoke to him last week in my office about feeling, unnecessary pressure to do things, and that's part of what he went through last year down the stretch, is that the kid really wants to do well, wants to win, but I think sometimes because he's so young, and not that he doesn't understand, but he just tries to do so much, and his game is so high speed that he just sometimes gets out of kilter.
I thought maybe now, Willie, maybe this team becomes a little bit more of an expandable roster. I was thinking about that last night, and maybe guys like Tatis and guys like Easley, you know what? Maybe they get a chance to play a little more. Maybe a lineup, especially for the Delgados of the world, the lineup isn't so set in stone anymore.
Yeah, well, that's where I like it to be. I mean, as far as, guys picking each other up. I mean, my bench has not played a lot this year, and that's because we've been pretty consistent with some of the guys like Church, who's out right now, Moises. But for the most part, your team picks up momentum when those guys, pick each other up. I mean, Easley's done a nice job off the bench at times. We try to get the kid in there a little bit. He had a great first game. But the bottom line is that when you're struggling a little bit, some fresh blood, some new energy is always good. I'm a big believer in that. And last night we brought that energy. And Delgado's going to play, but I'm going to pick spots for him every once in a while, take a day off.
Does he play tonight, Willie?
No, he's not in it tonight.
So 2 days off in a row? 2 days off in a row for Delgado?
Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday about that. I told him I would do that. I said, listen, big guy, you're struggling. You need to exhale and just kind of go out to the cage. Not overwork, but I think that he's doing maybe too much, and sometimes less is better. But I just said, listen, clear your mind, just relax a little bit. I'm going to give you a couple of days off here, and then I'll probably be back in it tomorrow. But, he struggled a lot this year, but we need to get this guy going because, it's very rare to have your fourth or fifth or sixth hitter who's not swinging the bats well. We can't win like that.